you know, I've been tongue blocking probably now about 30 years. The first 19 years is when I met, when I was playing pucker style, I reckon they call that. And I was always wondering how I could get that tone sound, uh, uh, that you hear on the records and mostly everywhere else. And but I couldn't figure out what was going on in there. So I literally just drove myself nuts. I did find out about James Cotton, and that's when it started to hit me that he wasn't just puckering to play the harmonica. He was using other different techniques, and there's so many different ones. There's open diaphragm. There's breathing techniques in the harmonica. One of the sayings Honer says, "Just breathe," and that's true because you got your tonic in second position with an A harp in the key of E is the two-hole drawer. So, where do you go when your lungs are filled up and you're vamping away? You just blow to 3. So you have two different ways to play and get your air back. Some people I see, they do a and they're always going for air. You can breathe through the harmonica and through your nose and through the sides of your mouth. There's a lot of different ways to do this. And basically, it's called breathing through the harmonica. Now, I also tell my students when I first start them out, look, if you're pulling and you don't restrict the air that's coming in, I don't know many people that talk about this, but it's one of the most important, I think, as far as a beginner to learn, because if you're doing, say, the 1, 2, 3 chord, and that's it, that's all you got, that's all you could do is like maybe about a 2-second pull on there. But if you close off your larynx, if you tighten up your neck muscles, and also you'll be able to develop vibrato by doing this technique, which I find, it changed my world once I learned how to use the vibrato. And shaping a note and all of that comes from all of this, But if you want to pull that chord and tighten up your neck, you can. And that's four notes, 4 to 3 notes right there, coming with air, full stream air. Now, if I did it without my neck tightened up, that's it. So that's one way to look at it. Now, when you narrow it down to one hole and you do this, you can also use your diaphragm, and vibrato coming in is a really hard technique to get, but it also shapes your sound. Once you start playing, that's the most, that's the coolest thing. Now, I call it coughing backwards. You just, as you're sucking in and you got your neck muscles tight, now you also heard me doing oh. That's how you shape this, this, especially a chord. I mean, the more you put the harmonica in your mouth, the more you're going to get tone. So, I gotta say, the first time I met Magic Slim and the Teardrops, they used to play all the time in New York area and Jersey, and I was good friends with John Primer I met through James Cotton Band. Magic Slim's got that lumpy sound, lump da dum da dum, and I'll tell you, that's They call that the South Side Shuffle, I guess. Or anyway, about, I don't know, it was probably about 10 years ago, before he passed away. He used to play at Buddy Guy's at the end, at, Saturday night during Blues Fest, which is the Chicago Blues Fest. If you've been there, they call it Blues Fest. But he was playing at Buddy's, and the festival was over, so I went over to Buddy's to see him, and he saw me in the audience right away, called me up, And the first thing they do is that lump in A, And I didn't want to vamp it with a D harp. Because it's just, that harp is just abrasive to me, I still use it, you got to use it for a managed part. I mean, come on. But anyway, tongue splitting is I was playing in first position with an A harp, but blowing from my left side of my mouth. Now everybody knows this. Now that's the the standard way of playing first position A harp until you switch to the 4. But hey hon, Debbie just tried calling me. Call her. Somebody doesn't know that I'm online right now. But if you're gonna play that lumpy sound, I always, now I love playing on the left side to do this. Now that last part, that I did on the right side. So I would go. All on the right side of my mouth. But I learned how to clean this up. I mean, this is not going to come right away. But I'm all screwed up in my turnarounds and everything now, the way I play now. Even if I'm sitting in with a band and I'm not playing my own music, I'm tongue splitting a lot, because I just love it. Now, if you could do an octave, you could shove your tongue over either side, and you should be already set up for your embouchure to get this note to produce. So if you could do a 1/4 octave, you could switch right away and hit the one side or the right side. Now you hear that I caught up just a little bit. That's what's going to happen a lot, unless you're not situated in your home keys, which I call the home keys on the harmonica, and that's the first starting point, especially in second position. But in first position, your home key is in the same place, just one over. Now you also hear that I'm now drawing the 1/4/4, 1/4/4, and that's starting on the left side. And that's where it's gonna all start to happen for you, especially if you're all right, juke. Everybody wants you don't want to mess up juke, but I like to mess it up. So anyway, I'll hit the 3 before I hit the 6. You know how you do the walk up on the drag up from the 2, 3, 4 or whatever that is, do, and then you got your blow. So I would go, and I hit the 3 first, then the 6. Now it's also come in handy if I'm in the middle of a lick and so fun to just go bah, 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 and you're not using any effort. And that's why with playing with tongue block, you're an acrobat on the harmonica now. You know, there's a lot of ways to play the harmonica, and everybody has to every now and then pucker one. A lot of people pucker only on the high notes where they get the bend, the blow bend. But if you listen to cats like Mitch Kashmar, he's an acrobat up there. I mean, and he's got that vamping and the blow vamp. I mean, it's so brilliant. He's also... Uh-oh, we got trouble here. My phone fell. Hold on. I'm using gaffer's tape. So, I didn't push it down hard enough. He's got that acrobat thing, and also he has, which I can't do, but some of my friends can, put the vibrato on the blow bend. Some of the most coolest stuff comes out of the top end of Mitch's harps. Now, if you notice my turner, I immediately use the one blow instead of the 4-ball. Now that's the traditional way of everybody else doing it, but I like to be different. So that's what I do. Now that last thing I did, there's a couple different ways to do a flutter or a warble, and I do it with my tongue back and forth. Now, Little Walter did a song on a D harp. And that's that first part of that song. I call that the stinger because it's just dead on. I mean, you really gotta work on that. And in order to get the stinger, you have to leave your tongue on the wood post and let the fat of your tongue change each note. You're not just going like this. You won't be doing this with your tongue. You'll be doing this. And that's what gives you that effect. Now there's two different ways. All right, I'm going to go back to an A harp, just so you know. If you want to get that Chicago sound, you know, especially Blues in My Sleep, James Cotton. I mean, that's done with a G harp. I'll switch off just for 1 second. Oh, look at that. That's one of my harps. Now that last little bit of what I'm doing there is I'm touching very lightly with my tongue instead of keeping it down hard. So there's two different ways to get that sound. That's the hard way. And that's the lightest way. So if you're just lightly using your tongue. Now, if you do have a marine band harmonica and they're 90 degree and they're not rounded tines like a marine band deluxe or a crossover, or a Thunderbird, then you'll have to tread lightly with your tongue on the harmonica, or else I saw Joe talking about wood and plastic, and plastic feels good on your mouth. If you have a sensitive mouth, yeah, the plastic harps are smoother and easier on your mouth, but you don't get that brighty, raspy sound because they have closed cover plates. These have open cover plates. So that old style, I mean, and almost all the old stuff was recorded on a marine band harmonica. There's a lot of brands out there, but this is my favorite Hohner. I'm gonna go down and see if anybody has any questions down the list here, because my feed doesn't show these questions. They get hidden. All right. Tony Holiday's in the house. Well, I hope he's still there. Got 47 people. Haha. Sean is out there in the Pacific Ocean in Hawaii. Lori Jeffries, hey. Sponsored by Gaffer's Tape. I like that. All right. So, yeah, John, right now I'm in second position on the G harp. I mean, thank you, Sarah. My neighbor, she's hanging out on her porch, probably drinking coffee. Are you on your second pot of coffee yet? No. Hey, Wolfgang. All right, so there is no questions yet. So I'm just going to keep going on the way I try to enthuse people how to play, with their tongue. Unfortunately, I don't have my Joe Falisco tongue block trainer tool. But if you go to his website and check it out, he's got some of these tongue block trainer tools. I think he just made some up. And he's one of the top dogs as far as, marine band harmonicas, and he saved the marine band even, I heard, from going to the China factory and whatnot. But look, and tongue blocking is the way to go. There's a lot of tone coming from guys that pucker and use different harmonicas. There's all different kinds of harmonicas, and they all sound different. But to my ear, since 1974, the marine band was the trick. Matter of fact, my first marine band that I bought was the 12-holer. And I didn't know it, but it looked great in the window. And I was only 12, so I had my mom get that one first. And then I met the guy that was supposed to teach me. When I saw him the next time in the halls I guess I was in middle school. I asked him again if he'd show me now that I got a harmonica, and he told me, pretty much, you suck and blow. And that was, that was my thing right then and there. Once you tell somebody from New Jersey, you need to figure it out, because they're gonna get pissed and do something else, and that's what I did. But my wife says I should play more harmonica. Come on, honey, let's see you do it. No. Greg Human, there he is. Man, Greg Human's mics are the killerest ones too. We're all in this boat together. This is my, I guess, 7th or 8th day in the house. I do venture out to go feed Mr. Bubbles. But anyway, let me get back to that. Listening to Mitch Kashmar. Check him out. If you never heard of him, man, it's the... He loves that run too. That's one of his runs. All right, I'm gonna switch back to A harp. We're gonna have an A harp now. I'm gonna write it in the comments. Oh yeah, and I'm using Ann's profile so I could see the tape. Alright, so anyway, this next thing that I want to show you is the old-timey stuff. I just got hip again to a recording by Peg Leg Sam. Through the harp forums, indirectly through Joe Flisco, I saw this. It wasn't a video either, it was just a sound clip. But he did this thing that I've kind of stumbled on, and I don't know how I got it, but I did it. And it also helps me play the harmonica on either side, so I might have indirectly learned it from Peg Leg Sam anyway, from that one crazy video he puts out. But it sounds like this. So I'm pulling in the one draw and blowing out the two. I'm pulling in the one draw and blowing out the three. So, and I'm pushing my tongue on the harmonica. So the first part of this is a pucker. So like I say, you still have to pucker every now and then. But anyway, there's the one draw. Now, I like to throw the harmonica, I like to push it on my tongue, like just having my tongue just sit right there. See how I drop it onto my tongue and then pull it away, and then I get the chord. I'm always hitting that one blow. Now you can also do it without moving it at all. It takes a little bit more acrobats with your tongue to do this, to accomplish this. But in the middle of that, of me drawing the one and then blowing the two and then drawing the one and blowing the three, my draw has a 2-beat in it. And I can't explain to you how to get it started or anything like that. I would say you have to slow it down and then try to do it that way. But it's something like that. See how? Now, I'm using my tongue to just pull off that thing, but in regards, in all say, it's my diaphragm pulling it the twice. So. You know, and that's my Peg Leg Sam lick. But if you break it down, like I said, see, as you start to get it to swing, and that's when your diaphragm kicks in and everything else kicks in. Alright, I'm going to read a few more comments. Let's see if anybody has a question. This is a Deak harp too, but this one I think I call this one the Delta Deluxe. It's just a square harmonica with screws and instead of nails, and then I do all the embossing. But this is a Deak harp, fully rounded, A lot of people get with the mustache, you get that caught there when you're going, and it's going to put a tear in your eye. Not my harmonicas. They're rounded corners. And they're really easy to play. But I'm going to go back to this A harp because, alright, and I also want to see the comments here. Alright. Nail and tongue block blow bends. Alright, Ed, we got a good question there. That is gonna take a little time. But, you know, I call it lock positions. So, if you're gonna go, now I dropped the 2 all the way down the whole step. I dropped my jaw too. Now, when you lift your jaw up, when your tongue is still on the harmonica, you can hear those bend positions. So, of course, you know, I mean, you have to hit that one note so perfect, you know, or the 3 blue I call. You got to hit that one, you know, for... There's your vibrato I was talking about. This is where you can make the golden notes. What happened to the feed, honey? Oh, it's still working. Oh boy, I lost my feed on the other one. Come on, baby. Is the feed down, hon? Well, technology is just great. I'm gonna try it again. I got no internet on this. Alright, hold on. Alright. I'm trying.
Like you're on, are you?
Yeah, well, it's on there, but...
Huh? Why don't you just use ours?
I think I got it. Alright, I found it. Alright. So obviously the internet connection, I have 2 or 3 internet connections here. I couldn't get that one to work so good. Alright, so yes, Greg, my tongue is on the harmonica as I'm bending. Alright. Alright, so we're still going. Alright. We got James Craven in the house. Another master tongue blocker. Okay, so this is an exercise that I teach some of my students in order to get a locked position on their harmonica. And you could see that I drop my jaw. Now this is, this might work for some people, it might not work for others, But when I drop my jaw, I can control the note. Just like James Cotton did on some of his, he would do that, it actually in Blues in My Sleep, that recording, he just went. And he pulled it up so graceful. And that's a really good way to learn how to control in tongue block position as you're bending. I do not use overblows, but I know how to overblow. Not that it sounds more like a duck getting run over, but blow bends. Now, I did talk about this earlier. So if you take your tongue and go, and you're blowing, I suppose, the 7 blow, you can also vamp, ba 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 ba, as you're holding back. So you have all this air stored in as you're drawing. When you need to do a draw run, climbing up the harmonica, you got to blow your air out. But in this case, you keep the air in and you use it as a reserve. And your tongue is sitting right there. It's going to take a little while to get this corrected, but everything takes a little while to get corrected. You just have to, diligently keep trying it till it works. And you can blow bend all the same stuff that you did puckering. There's 10. I mean, it's all right there with your tongue on it. Now, you're not going to be able to go. You're not going to be able to do that. That's a cotton lick. And you can't do it tongue block until you keep working at it. And I put that little vamp on the end so you know that I'm still tongue blocking that, because a lot of guys cheat. And if you're only cheating yourself if you're not, if you're not doing it right. Alright, what do we got here? Travis Fouch is watching. Hey, Travis! Oh my, I can't play no more. This guy's great. Little Freddie's watching. Hey, I'm talking about the youngest harmonica player. Keep an eye on James Craven. He's going to teach that boy how to play. Yes, indeed. And I also saw Joe McLaren with his son playing drums the other day. This is going to be great because, the kids got, they're going to bring it. They're going to bring it through. All right. What else do we got? All right. I see Dave Fleming's in the house. Okay, so let's go back to what I covered already in case somebody was late. We talked about diaphragm. We talked about drawing and closing your neck off so you're not filling up your basket so quick. Like, that's it. That's all you could do. Or you could go...